All right, welcome back to the program. You're watching Daybreak on Trust TV. Time now to take a look at the pages this morning. Bring you up to speed with the stories making the headlines. As is tradition, we start with the front page of the Dailytrust newspaper for today. So let's take a look at it. Federal government wants state electoral bodies scrapped. Why governors are against local government autonomy, state assemblies speakers. Empowering local governments key to national security. This is coming from the president. And you can read more about the ongoing debate about local government autonomy on page 8 of the Dailytrust newspaper. You have a promotional video there as Obasanjo is set to commission Jimeta Yola interchange flyover and underpass. Kano Emirate court orders Bayero's eviction from palace. And that is a trending story you can follow up on page 3, get some backgrounders, and also understand where things are right now regarding the ongoing saga in Kano. Now, let's take a look at the Guardian newspaper for today. The Guardian newspaper for today has some of these stories for you to take a look at. Amid penetration surge, Nigerians spend over 500 billion now on data in first quarter. Federal government suspends fraudulent Nigeria Air indefinitely. Yeah. Insecurity knocks kudos for Tinubu as government marks first anniversary. Children's Day, 39.2% of Nigerian children in child labor. This is part of the editorial of the Guardian newspaper for today. As you can imagine, because of the commemorations on May 29th, the front pages are looking rather celebratory for obvious reasons. Now, let's speak to some of the stories that actually stand out. Join us on the program, Dr. Theophilus Abah, Director, Dailytrust Foundation, and he's looking rather regal this morning. Doctor, good morning. It's good to see you.
How is it? I wanted to look like you.
Yeah,
I didn't know if I could match you.
You look like the next senator. Who knows? Good morning, Doctor. Okay, let's start with this whole local government fiasco. I mean, we've been here before several times in the past where there's this much momentum about let's fix the local governments at the third tier of government. Let's do this, let's do that. Now the federal government has dragged the governors to court, trying to get this actualized. They want state electoral bodies scrapped. They also want financial autonomy for the local governments. I still remember Executive Order, was it 3 or 10 on the Buhari administration?
Yes,
NFIU dragged the governors to court because they want to bypass Jack and send the money directly to the local government. What do you make of all of these, back and forth about local government autonomy and their functionality?
Okay, I think whatever the federal government is attempting to do now is based on the discussions, based on the experiences Nigerians have had with the local governments since the return to democracy in 1999. We have discovered that local governments have not been allowed to function the way they ought to function. Because if you go to the constitution, there are statutory activities that we expect local government to engage in.
Yeah.
Local government are supposed to perform some rules. They have responsibilities. In fact, they are even supposed to be in charge of the primary health care, primary education, in charge of maybe sanitary, do some feeder roads, raise taxes and maintain the security at that lower level. The constitution, gives those responsibility to local governments. But we have discovered that all this while, now there's no stability in local government administration, because instead of electing local government chairmen or and lawmakers over for a period of time, let's say 2 years, 3 years, 4 years, governors will appoint them for maybe 6 months, 1 year, and after that they will say, well, your tenure is up, they bring a new set of people. And the electoral process has not been transparent. And we know very well that even the allocations to local government from the FAC, from the Federation account, they are never used, at the local government level. I remember an investigation I did some years ago, I think 2014, where we're looking at a particular local government, local governments in a state. I don't want to mention the state. And we discovered that this local government got an average of 100 million from the federation account, an average of that every month. But the salary bill was about 20 million. That was the salary bill as at then, about 20 million. Right. And this local government council was not paying salaries. And we asked, how can you be getting 100 million from the center, and that is separate from, you know, what you generate from markets, from Okada, from taxes, and from other farmers, and you generate so much, you get so much from the center, to pay 20 million salary. And we're told, well, the money gets to the state headquarters and is split in this manner. And by the time we look at how they used to split the money, discover that it was fraud. That those local government were, shortchanged. In fact, the government chairman will be given a certain amount of money. So, okay, they take 10 million, go and enjoy yourself, take care of your family, forget about things. So it's called that development was taking place at local, in spite of the fact that, funds were being voted for local government from Abuja. So you see, under that system, we see that governors, benefited, more. Instead of this fund to go to local government for development, it's hijacked at the state, by the governors, and that is not how to run the system. Now, even the local government generates revenue, nobody gives account. They generate revenue because the 50 naira, 100 they collect from market women, from Okada riders. By the time you put these things together, it's a lot of money.
Yeah, exactly.
It's a lot of money.
But do you think
so? If you look at it, now, if the government will say, okay, we want to make local government independent, well, we want to ensure that elections are conducted by INEC. So anybody who is a local government chairman knows that, look, I have authority. The governor cannot call me and say, okay, go and bring that money I was giving to you. Because even when Buhari issued that executive order, what we later learned was that the money will be put in the local government chairman, the local government account. Then the governor will say, okay, bring it back, bring it. Bring the money back, and they will sign all the documents to say that oh, we have paid salaries, we have done project A, B, C, D, but then nothing was done. You return the money to the government, and we cannot allow that to continue. So I support this measure.
Obviously, we saw the Senate kick off this new wave of agitation for local government autonomy. Ironically, the Senate was quite scathing in their remarks about how governors are upending the development of this local government, when a quarter of them are actually former governors who were the ones doing it when they were still governors, but are now in the Nigerian Senate. But do you think this time around things would actually turn out the way we envision it's going to turn out? Because we've been here before several times in the past before, not much to show for it. This case at the Supreme Court, what's happening in the Nigerian National Assembly. Do you think this is time now for local government autonomies to be freed from the grip of the governors?
Now, I think the major issue major challenge we have in Nigeria is that, you see, the laws are there, but the practice, the way the law is implemented affects, even the achievement of the objectives. You understand? Now, if you look at the electoral value chain, a lot of laws have been put in. If you look at the Electoral Act, so many laws, so many things that should prevent something from happening. But if you look at the value chain, they are all violated. You understand? So we expect that primarily let this law be passed. But then, even when the law is passed, we fear that the implementation may not be as expected. But then it depends largely on who the president of the country is. If the president has the courage to say, well, I don't mind whether or not this governor support me, when I want to be re-elected, during the next election cycle, I don't care what the governors think. I don't care, because you see, at a point, most people who want to contest election at the federal level say, well, if I do this, if I pass this law, the governors will not support me. They hold the aides, they are the ones who control the state. If the president will say, look, I insist on this, in spite of whatever the governors will say. And if the autonomy is granted to local government chairmen or local government legislators, and they are courageous enough to say, well, I have the authority to do this, I'm going to do it, it will work. But if we have local government chairmen who will now be lackeys of governors, subservient to governors. Say, well, even though the crown are giving me the authority, the governor will not allow me. I want to be re-elected again. If I don't do what the governor is saying, then they will not re-elect. You see, all those things can affect even the achievement of the objectives of this amendment to the law. But I'm looking forward to a time when people will say, okay, this is what the law says and I stand by it. We are looking forward to when that can happen in this country.
Okay, two issues just before we go. The Kano situation and Nigerian Air officially suspended now.
Yes.
What are your thoughts about it?
We discuss so much about Kano, and we have lawyers talk about it and all this and that. But my problem with what happened in Kano, I'm not even talking about whether it should be Ado Bayero or Sanusi, but you see, it is demystifying the traditional institution. We were holding traditional institution with high respect. When you hear this an emir, you respect the emir. But now we are discovering that politicians can say, look, get out, we don't want you. You understand? And the law can be amended in 48 hours to remove a traditional, because we were thinking that, these guys, they represent some measure of authority and all this and all that. Then if you talk about Nigeria Air, to me, I'm surprised that Keamu is saying that it was fraud. He was in that government.
Exactly.
He was a minister. He was attending all the Federal Executive Council meetings. So he ought to know everything that happened there. I don't know whether he told them at that time that Nigeria Air was fraud. But Sirika was his colleague in the cabinet. So I don't know at what point he discovered it was fraud. Because it was part of the system. All these things were discussed at the Federal Executive Council meeting.
Exactly. And that's quite, a head scratcher for me. Not much to go on from the newspapers this morning because of the front pages being dominated by celebratory pictures of all of these governors and the president marking his first year anniversary. Doctor, that's all we have for today. But thank you most kindly, as always, for stopping by.
Thank you.
You look rather regal this morning. I would recommend more of these outfits.
That's good. I want to look like you.
Okay, thank you so much, Doctor.
Thank you.
All right, that is our analysis with our very own Dr. Theophilus Abah, Program Director of the Dailytrust Foundation. And that wraps up our show for you today. Thank you most kindly for being a part of it. We do appreciate you for your time and company. Let's do this again. We'll be back tomorrow live at 8 for special coverage on May 29th anniversary of the Tinubu administration, as well as Nigeria's 25 years of uninterrupted democracy. We look forward to seeing you next. For now, stick around for 360 Sports at the top of the hour. Good morning.